Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new early movie review, and I actually hesitate to use the word brand new because this film came out 3 years ago in limited markets, but will be available to a larger audience come this Friday in theaters May 14th, and that is the thriller by the name of Profile, which I got the chance to check out courtesy of Focus Features, and I'm really excited to let you all know what I thought about this movie, and if you all should check it out all in this spoiler-free review. Before we dive into it, make sure you're following me on all my other social media accounts. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you all can get the alert when I drop new content. It would mean the world to me if you all can like and share this review. It helps out the channel a lot, but I also appreciate all the support. And in those comments, let me know. I'm going to leave the trailer to this film in the description below, but let me know if Profile was on your radar, if you were excited for it. And of course, once you've seen it, let's discuss it. Let me know your pros, your cons, your thoughts on the performances, the story. And this is a Screen Life film, so let me know in the comments, what is your favorite Screen Life film that you've seen? Let's discuss it in the comments below. So for those that aren't too familiar with the subgenre by the name of Screen Life, it's essentially a film that takes place entirely behind either a smartphone or, in this case in the film Profile, behind a computer screen. And you may have seen Unfriended, Unfriended 2, Searching. Just in the past year, we had Spree and Hosted, and it's a pretty interesting concept in my eyes. And mainly, there's been one guy producing all those films who's actually a director for a lot of action movies, and I love his name, so if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I apologize. But the director of Profile is Timur Bekmambetov. I might have pronounced that right. I don't know, but he is the director in this movie. And if you all aren't too familiar with Profile, it follows an undercover British journalist in her quest to bait and expose a terrorist recruiter through social media while trying not to be sucked in by her recruiter and lured into becoming a militant extremist herself. So really interesting concept. I really enjoyed the trailer. Let's kick things off with my positives. I gotta say, one of the things that really kind of kept me engaged was the story. It was a pretty compelling story. Now, this film is based on a novel, which is also based on true events, and I'm always a sucker for kind of true events, real life circumstances. And again, it's that story that sounds really interesting. It's like the most dangerous game of catfishing I've ever seen, if I'm not gonna lie. But going into, we have our main character, Amy, who's the journalist who's going undercover to learn more about this recruiting process and this extremist group, and just seeing the lengths that Amy went through in this film. Not only did it put her relationship at risk, her job at risk, but more importantly, it put her own life at risk. And it just speaks to journalism, to trying to get that story, willing to put so much on the line just to get one story. And it does expose something that needs to be out there in regards to these extremist groups. But it was just crazy to see what Amy was willing to do just to get that story. And that's the thing that really hooked me, was how the hell is all this going to play out? And we'll talk about that without spoiling anything later on in the video. But it's in the performances that, when it comes to these Screen Life films, it can make or break the movie, right? Because you're not really getting the traditional film where you're behind a camera, actors are in the same room. In this case, literally none of the actors are sharing the same screen. So you have Amy's character, and this is where I kind of go into my positives with the performances. You have Amy played by Valene Kane, and you have Bazelevs played by Shazad Latif. I gotta say, I commend the actors in this role, because again, I would imagine if I'm an actor, that's not the easiest job, to be able to convey a certain message when you're not in the same room, or at least I assume they're not in the same room, but they're not in the same scene, right? So you can't read their body language, you can't really see their eye line. So I commend them for giving a pretty compelling performance for the most part. Some of the script and some of the stuff, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I do like that both actors are essentially playing dual roles. We have Amy, who's the journalist, who is a girlfriend, she's a friend, she has her work, she's trying to get this, this paper, this news out there, so she has her life offline, but then when she's online, she portrays herself as a younger girl who just converted to being a Muslim, who wants to learn more about joining this group. So she's playing dual roles, which is really interesting. And the same could be said about her counterpart, that the recruiter in this film, that we have Bazelevs, who is appearing to be charming and has charisma and just seems to be misunderstood, and is kind of working his way into making Amy kind of, get into his world. So again, they're both playing these dual roles, Amy playing the game of catfish, but also Bazelevs has his little secrets that he's kind of keeping away from Amy. So I like both of those characters playing in those two different genres, and like I said, kind of playing these dual roles with these characters. And then just going into a little bit of the story in regards to shining a light on how you can see how women, and in some cases young girls, can get lured into this world, how they feel like they're not being misunderstood. They don't know that they can easily be gravitated to those groups. So the film kind of shows you how easily it can kind of show a lifestyle and show you that, oh, you come to, over to this group, we'll give you more money than you'll ever have. You'll live in this mansion. You'll be my wife. I'll take care of you. So it kind of shows you how they can get lured into that world. And then kind of going into what is interesting about Screen Life is what it says about real life, right? In regards to when you see someone on a social media platform, you see them on your computer screen, you see them on TV, they only show you what's in that box, right? But then when you go outside of that box, who is that real person? So it just makes you kind of think about the society we live in with our smartphones and social media and Instagram and TikTok. It always just makes me kind of think of, man, you can really show someone who you are or think you're showing someone who you are, but then they don't really know who the real person is off screen. So I'm always fascinated by that concept. And then lastly, I'm always pretty impressed by the idea of the production aspect of Screen Life, capturing the performance, conveying a certain performance by an actor that's being recorded by a camera, as well as the camera they're recording themselves on. And then also just like the little details. This film takes place in 2014, so you have to go back to 2014 technology, whether it's iMac technology, iMessage, Skype, the way that they use technology back then. So you have to stay consistent. So I like how they keep those details in the production aspect of Screen Life. So going into my criticism with this film, like I said, I commended the performances, but I'm not going to lie, for me personally, as we're seeing this online relationship kind of develop and we're seeing Amy almost kind of getting lured into his kind of false lifestyle that he's pitching to her. But I personally never felt like I was sold in that relationship, because we get these little snippets of them having daily conversations. He's teaching her how to cook. She's showing him, she's giving him this false kind of how she was raised and about her parents and her friends. They're both spewing lies to each other, but I never felt like, and I won't go too deep into the story, but I never felt like their relationship to where it comes ahead in the third act was really that strong. I never felt that it was sold, in my personal opinion. Like, for example, when you think of the film, which I love, 2018 Searching is one of my favorite films that year, they were able to, the film takes place over a span of weeks and sometimes months. And in this case, this film takes place over a span of, I want to say maybe about a month and a half or so. And obviously, we're not going to see every single minute of their lives, but it was a missed opportunity to show their lives off screen where they're not interacting with each other. And particularly, I think of Amy. She gets a little bit more backstory. She has a boyfriend by the name of Matt. She has her boss that she has to give this story to with Vic. She has her best friend, Katie. She has more backstory, but I wish we would have seen more of Amy offline, her struggling with this thing that's affecting her life. Her going undercover really affected a lot of things of her life. So I wish we would have spent more time with Amy in her headspace and what she was going through. Same with Bazelevs. I wish we would have saw him more offline. And look, I get the idea of Screen Life is you only supposed to see what's going on in the screen, but going back to my comparison to Searching, you were able to see different tactics of how they were able to show their life when he was trying to figure out what happened to his daughter. They could have did the same thing in Profile. You could have used security cameras. You could have used other home, security cameras to show Amy and Bazelevs offline when they're not interacting with each other. So I wish we would have got a little bit more of that character development. And then just kind of going into the thing in regards to the runtime. This is kind of my last little thoughts here. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, and I thought that it was way too long for its runtime. They could have cut out Amy's screen time with her best friend Katie, because that really didn't add anything to the story. And then there's like a 10 to 15 minute kind of lull in the second half that I felt like it was a little bit repetitive. So they could have slimmed that out and it could have been like an hour and a half. I thought it would have been a little bit more concisive. And then my biggest issues with this film is two things. One is it's labeled as a thriller, and to me, I only saw like two thrilling scenes, and it probably adds up to about 10 minutes, and I'm being kind of friendly there. It's probably more like 6 to 7 minutes of thrilling aspects, and I wish it was more of a thriller, less than it was a drama, which when you see the film, you know what I'm talking about. And then lastly, my biggest issue with the movie, the ending is extremely anticlimactic. I'm not going to obviously give you guys the ending, but it was so uneventful. One of the thrilling scenes I was talking about, it leads up to this thrilling moment, and then it fades to black. And I'm like, in the way that they kind of, gives you some text to show you what really happened, it was very disappointing. The ending was the most disappointing aspect of this movie. So before I give you all, those are all my main criticisms. Before I give you all my overall thoughts and my score, make sure to like the video, share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and let me know, Are you a fan of the Screen Life genre? Let's discuss it all in the comments. So overall, again, it's interesting to see the progression of this subgenre Screen Life and seeing it play in the horror realm with Unfriended, playing it into an actual good thriller and Searching, and now kind of diving into the genre of drama with a little bit of thrilling aspects. I will say the film did keep me engaged for the most part and wanted to kind of know what's going to happen next, and I found that both characters and actors did the best as they could, but unfortunately the film lacked a satisfying conclusion, and it didn't have that much to add to the conversation in the real world circumstances involving these extremists and how they recruit people in their groups. So overall, I'll give Profile a 2.5 out of 5. I'm not going to lie, for the majority of this film, I was sitting around a 3.5, 3 out of 5, but once I got to that ending, it left a pretty bad taste in my mouth. So that's just my thoughts. Again, I'm giving Profile a 2.5 out of 5. I commend the actors. It's an interesting story. It's a compelling story, but it lacks thrilling aspects, and that ending, again, I can't stress enough, I was just so disappointed by the ending. But again, that's just what I thought of the film. Let me know what you thought of the film. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What you think of the performances? And again, let me know your favorite Screen Life film in the comments. Mine is Searching. I love that film, and I'm really interested to see what they do with the sequel. So like the video, share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, that way you don't miss any of my other content. Hope you all are staying safe. Hope you enjoyed this review. We'll see you in the next video.